Swamiji and Rajendra Swami, who is organizing these programs, along with Sri Swami, Sampath Swami, Kamal Kishore Swami, and many other Bhagavatas. Educating the children is a very, very important Kaikaryam. First of all, Kaikaryam means that which gives happiness to Bhagavan. Bhagavan Mukhollasam. That is Kaikaryam. Children in our Sampradayam, when they get educated, that will definitely give joy to Bhagavan. Because our Alvas and Acharyas, they have emphasized that we should pursue spiritual knowledge when we are very, very young. Not when we become 50 years old, 60 years old. It is not time for Bhagavad Vishayam. Pursuing Bhagavan, approaching Acharya, learning Sampradaya principles, all of these need to be done at a very, very young age. That is what our Acharyas have shown, our Alvas have shown. Kilaroli Elamai, Keduvadan Munnam. That is a pasaram for Tirumaliranjolai, Bhagavan. Tirumaliranjolai is in Dakshin Bharat, where Bhagavan is known as Paramaswami. Nammalvar, while singing one dashakam for this Bhagavan, he says, Kilaroli Elamai Keduvadan. Before the youth expires, one should approach this Maliranjolai Dividesham and worship Bhagavan and understand his greatness and serve him. So this is emphasized greatly in our Sampradaya. It is part of Sanatana Dharma also. We can see even in ancient times, in our Itihasas, Puranas, Prahlada was very, very young. Even when he was in the womb of his mother, Narada Maharshi trains him in all the Bhagavad Vishayam about Bhagavan. Bhagavan Hari and his glories are taught to him when Prahlada was in the womb of his mother. Similarly, Dhruva, when Dhruva was very, very young, when he was insulted by his stepmother, his original mother gave him very, very good advice. She said, you have to depend on Bhagavan Vishnu only and nothing else will give you happiness. Sitting on your father's lap, that is not going to give you happiness. It is about realizing the truth about Bhagavan and pursuing that path that will give you happiness. So, Dhruva's mother was his first guru. She gave him excellent, wonderful advice, which will lead him to Vishnu eventually. In the meantime, he meets Narada Maharshi, and Narada Maharshi also gives him the Dwadasakshari, Vasudeva Mantram. And with that, he meditates upon Bhagavan Vishnu, and Bhagavan Vishnu appears in front of him, blesses him, and purifies him completely from all the dirts of this samsara. So there are so many examples like that. Many personalities who became devotees of Bhagavan at a very, very young age and also became great jnanis in a very young age. So this is the ideal way for children to engage their time, maximize their engagement in matters relating to Bhagavan, Acharyas, Alvas, and understand the importance of our Sampradaya. Our Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya is not like any other normal Sampradaya. It has strong backing of Vedam. Vedam is divided into two parts, Purva Bhagam, Uttara Bhagam, Vedam and Vedantam. Our Sampradaya is fully based on Veda, Vedantam, Itihasams, Puranams, Shri Pancharatra, Agamam, Alvas, Divya Prabandhams, Purvacharyas, Stotra Granthams, Vyakhyana Granthams. There are many scriptures which are the foundation for our Sampradaya. This Sampradaya was carried forward by many personalities, but who is the founder of this Sampradaya? Bhagavan Sriman Narayana is the first Acharya of our Sampradaya. Nobody other than Bhagavan can initiate a Sampradaya because he is the supreme. He is the one who knows everything. Other than Bhagavan, nobody else can create something like this. From Bhagavan, it comes all the way up to our Acharya in a parampara, in a Guru Parampara. This Guru Parampara is the pillar for our Sampradaya. The Guru Parampara, the Acharyas, the Alvas, they are the ones who are upholding our Sampradayam and teaching our Sampradayam principles to everyone. Without a teacher, we will be nothing. And there should also be goal. That goal is eternal Kainkaryam to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. So these are the topics which we are going to see today. These are very, very foundational, very fundamental. Everyone in our Sampradaya should know these principles very, very clearly. There are so many things which will confuse us in the outside world. We should not be confused by any of those. We should fully depend on our Alvas, Acharyas, Shastram, scriptures and Bhagavan, of course, and be fully confident about our Sampradaya, about the principles which are taught in our Sampradaya, and everything is very, very logical. You will all see when we go through these fundamental principles, you will see that there is clear logic, clear thinking behind all of these things. Nothing is dogmatic, nothing is imposed upon. We have the ability to think, we have the ability to analyze, we have the ability to question and get answers. And our Sampradaya is built upon these principles. Nobody is stopped from asking any question. We can ask any question. We can get the doubts clarified. We can be very, very clear about all the principles in a very clear manner. That is what our Alvars and Acharyas have done to us. So today we are going to see the fundamentals of our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam. There are certain things which we need to understand. There is Prama. Prama is knowledge, what is to be known. I am going to be talking in English only because my Hindi is very, very poor. If I start speaking in Hindi, everyone will log out immediately because that is how poor my Hindi is. So I will speak in English. If there are any doubts, if there is anything which is not understandable, please use the chat message. You can send messages. In the end of the program, we will answer all the questions. We will leave 10 to 15 minutes for question answers. Rajendra Swami is there. If there is anyone who is not comfortable in English, they can ask the question in Hindi also. And he will help me understanding the question clearly. And I will explain in English and he will explain that in Hindi if there is anything to be clarified. So feel free. There is nothing formal about it. It is an informal engagement. You can ask any question at the end of the session. Try to keep the questions related to today's program so that everyone will be able to follow these clearly so that it will be contextual. Today's program, if you ask any questions related to that, we will give priority to those questions and we will answer in the end. So we started with Prama. Prama is the foundation. Prama means knowledge. What is to be known by all of us? That is Prama. And around this Prama, there are three things which we need to know. There is Pramanam, Pramata, and Prameyam. Three things. We are going to see all of that in as much detail as possible. We will have about 1 hour from now. Das will speak for about 30 to 40 minutes and then we will leave about 15 to 20 minutes for question answers if there are any. Okay, so Prama is the knowledge which is to be known. Everyone desires to know something. We wake up in the morning, we want to find out what happened today in the world. That is knowledge. We are seeing that Corona is going on. There is a lot of activities which are going on. Financial things may be going on. Sports may be going on. So we want to know what is going on in the world. That is a simple example. So all of these are knowledge. Everything is getting accumulated in us. In our mind, everything is getting accumulated. Whatever we know goes into our mind. So this Prama is knowledge to be known. What is to be known? Now, how do we get knowledge? We need some tool, some equipment or some books or something. From that we get knowledge. So that tool is called Pramanam. Pramanam is a tool which gives us knowledge. What can be depended upon confidently? We can say that, for example, we can say we read the newspaper this morning. We saw that there was this particular news and we are confident that it is truth because we saw it in the newspaper. That is one example. So that newspaper is the Pramanam for us in that particular example. And then there is Pramata. Pramata means the one who gives that information through that tool. For example, in the newspaper example, we have an editor who writes the particular article. He is the Pramata. He is the one who gives us the information, who gives us the knowledge. And then there is Prameyam. Prameyam is the goal. What are we going to do after getting the knowledge? For example, we are getting the knowledge that there is Corona in this COVID in our area. So what we will do? We shut our doors in our home. We stay safe as much as possible. We wear mask. We sanitize. So these are some practical examples I'm giving. So this is the outcome of the knowledge. Whatever we accumulate, based on that, we are acting upon it. We are doing something. So that is the goal. That is the Prameyam. Lakshya. So Pramanam is tool for knowledge. Pramata is the one who gives the knowledge. And Prameyam is the goal of the knowledge. So this we can keep in our mind. Now we will go to an example, a real example which we will see in detail so we can understand these principles. Das have taken the example of school because we are all familiar, we are all school children, right? So most of us will know how a school works. Everyone will know. We all go to school, we all study there. So here we can take this example of the school, then we'll go. Once we understand the school example, then we can go back to our Sampradaya and see how it works in our Sampradaya. Okay. So here we have a school. This school is an institution, just like we have the world. So we have the world here. So there is school. In the school, what do they give us? They give us knowledge. The whole purpose of school education is to acquire knowledge. We think that we are going to get big money, great salary, great job, and all of that. Those are all byproducts. But the real purpose of going to school is to acquire knowledge. Because as children, when we are young, we have to go to school. We have to learn from the school, whatever knowledge we have to accumulate. for each standard, first grade, second grade, third grade. Each grade, they have a set of things which we have to learn. That particular aspect is called knowledge. So that is Prama. Now we can relate to Prama. Prama is knowledge which is given in school. Now, where do we get that knowledge from? We get the knowledge from books. You can see in the picture, there is at the top there is school, and then below that first there is books. So these books, they are designed by the school board. There will be a board where there will be a group of people. They will sit and decide. For first grade, they are going to study alphabets. They are going to study numerics, numerals, numbers. So these are the things for the first grade they will have to study. So they will make books. And these books we will have to study. So this book is the Pramanam for us. Because from the book we are getting knowledge. You understand? Now, if there is the book alone, can we get knowledge? We go to the book, we go to the school, they give us a bag full of books. They give us that and they say, okay, now you can go and study on your own. Then we will not be able to study them fully and we will not be able to understand them fully. We will need a guide. We will need someone who mentor us, who guide us, who take us through the books. That is what the teachers do. These teachers take the book, they go lesson by lesson, first lesson, second lesson, third lesson. They will teach us. So that is what here in our Sampradaya, Acharyas do. Alvars and Acharyas, they are the Pramata. So these teachers, they are the Pramata. So we saw Pramanam, which are the books, which are scriptures for us. We'll see what are scriptures later. First, we can understand that there is Prama. Prama knowledge is acquired through books, and that books are the Pramanam. Then there is Pramata, teachers who teach us. Using those books, they will teach us. And we get the knowledge from the book. So they guide us, they go through step by step and explain to us, and then we understand step by step. And what happens? What is the end result? Our knowledge increases. Now, after we study in the school for 10 years, 15 years, after that, what happens? The end goal is reached. End goal is we are accumulating the knowledge and we are going to use that knowledge for some purpose, for the purpose of the society, for the purpose of the welfare of the humanity. That is the goal. That is the ideal goal, noble goal. That is why I said initially, people go to school with the mentality that they can pass out in high rankings and they get good salary, settle down in life and so on. Those are all byproducts. But the real goal is what? Getting the knowledge, using that knowledge, how to improve humanity, how to improve our lifestyle. Those are all the noble goals. So that is the Prameyam. So we have Prama, knowledge. Knowledge is learned from Pramanam, books. Teachers teach that knowledge with the help of the books. That is Pramata. Teachers are Pramata. And then Prameyam is the ultimate goal, which is serving the society, helping the humankind, helping everyone, all the lives. That is the ultimate goal. That is the noble goal. So we can have this in the mind. We can consider this as a cycle. This goes on, it doesn't stop. Because the school will live forever. There will be one set of students today. Tomorrow another set of students will come. Tomorrow another set of teachers will come. So this keeps changing. But the books will remain almost the same. Maybe there will be minor changes. And goal will remain the same. Improving the society, improving the lifestyle. That will remain the same. Everyone will have the same goal. The books will remain the same. But the teachers and the students are changing. So this concept everyone have in your mind, because this is the basic example. Because example is very important to understand the principle. The principles can be understood easily through the examples. That is why we use examples. Now, if we understand the example clearly, then the next step is, how does this apply to our Sampradayam? Because our sampradaya is very, very similar to this. We can easily understand. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next slide. We'll go back to the Pramanam, Pramata, Prameyam slide. So here, in our sampradaya, in our Shri sampradaya, there is Prama, knowledge. Knowledge is what? Knowledge about truth. What is truth? There is Chit, there is Achit, and there is Ishvara. These are the three truths to be understood. This is known as Tattva Trayam. Tattva means truth, Trayam means three. Three truths are to be known by all of us. That is Chit, Achit, and Ishvara. Chit is Atma. Atma means sentient being. Being with consciousness. That is soul. What we say in English is soul. So Atma is one principle which is to be understood. And then Achit. Achit means matter. Whatever we see with our eyes, whatever we can touch, whatever we can hear, all of these are Achit. For example, we have this computer in front of us. We have this cell phone in front of us. We have a desk. All of these are Achit. Atma, who are Atma? We are all Atmas. We are all conscious beings. Consciousness means what? I know that I exist. You know that you exist. Everyone knows that we all exist. Others need not come and tell that you are Sarathy, you are existing. Nobody need to tell me. I know for myself. That is the consciousness. So, one who has consciousness is known as Atma. There are many, many innumerable Atmas. I am an Atma. You are an Atma, another person is Atma. Every individual is an Atma. We all have bodies. This body is Achit, matter. These are all very, very deep principles, but we have to understand slowly. We have to start from somewhere. That is why we are starting here. So, Atma, Chit, and Achit, matter. These two principles. The third principle is Ishvara, God, Creator. For example, we saw go back to the example school. That school came into existence. How did it come into existence? Who created the school? Some very good-hearted person who wanted to help the society, who wanted to educate the society. He invested some wealth, he invested some money, he arranged some people, he built the school, and then he organized some people, some teachers. He made a particular board, school board. With that, he created the books. He arranged for the school building and all of that. What is the objective of the school? What is the vision of the school? Everything is decided by this person. That particular concept is applicable here also. In this world, we have all of these existing entities. Who created all of these? God created all of these. So that God is Ishvara. This Ishvara, God, is the one who created everything. So we can relate to this school example now. We have three principles, Chit, Achit, and Ishvara. Chit is all the Atmas, Achit is all the matter, and Ishvara is God who created everything, who is managing everything, who is just like the founder of the school who manages everything. The God is managing everything. So these three principles, this is the knowledge we have to acquire first. So when we say Prama, this is the knowledge. This is known as Tattva. This Tattva portion we have to understand. So this Prama, how do we get this knowledge? Now we go back to that slide, Pramanam, Pramata. So Pramanam is the one we saw previously, that books are the one which give us knowledge. So here also, Pramanam is which gives knowledge to us. Pramanam means the tool for knowledge. Now, in our case, in the Sampradaya, in the Dharma, in our Sanatana Dharma, there are three types of Pramanam. Those are listed here in the bottom. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda. 3 pramanams are explained in our dharma, in our Sanatana dharma. Why our sampradaya is known as Sanatana dharma, that also we have to understand. Sanatana dharma means a set of rules, that which leads us to a goal. Sanatana means eternal. It exists forever. If we see some religions, we know that they are created in this particular year. But Sanatana dharma, our Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, it is not created. Vaidika dharma is not created. It is always existing. Bhagavan is the one who is managing it. Bhagavan always exists. Nobody created Bhagavan, that we all know. Everybody knows that Bhagavan was not created by anyone. He always existed. Similarly, his dharma, this dharma is established by him. He is the one who is running it. So it is always existing. There is no beginning for our dharma. That is why it is called Sanatana dharma. Now coming back to Pramanam, we have 3 Pramanam. We saw that it is the tool through which we can acquire knowledge. Now about these entities, whatever we can see in front of us, how do we know about them? There is the first Pramanam, Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means what we see through our eyes, what we hear from our ears, what we can touch and learn, what we can taste and know, what we can smell and know. These are all known as Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means what is visible through our indriya, senses, sense organs. So Anko, Dekha, Kano, Suna, that is example given in the slide itself. For example, to understand this, for example, we see that there is someone speaking in the screen. How do we know? We are seeing through with our eyes, and we are hearing the words through our ears. So using these, we are getting some knowledge now. As I am speaking, you are all getting something. You are getting some knowledge. You are knowing about what is Chit, what is Achit, what is Ishvara, what is Pramanam, what is Pramata, what is Pramey. So all of these are knowledge which are being acquired by you. And how do you acquire this knowledge? You are hearing and you are seeing. Based on these 2 senses, now you are grasping everything. So this is Pratyaksha. So knowledge can come through Pratyaksha. So that is the first Pramanam. Second is Anumanam. Anumana means judgment or inference. What does inference mean? Previously, we have seen something. So Anumana means knowledge based on previous observing some principle, observance of some principle, and relating that to current situation. Very common example given is, let us say, on a hilltop, on the top of a mountain, we see fog. Chit, Achit, Ishvara are collectively called as Thothathry, 3 truths. Okay, now inference. How do the example, general example given for inference is, we see, let us say, smoke. You know smoke, right? Smoke on top of a mountain. Now, when we see smoke on the top of the mountain, now we think there must be some fire in that particular place, in that mountain top. How do we conclude that? How do we get that knowledge? That is a knowledge which we are acquiring. Based on the smoke we are seeing there, we are judging, we are guessing that there is fire in that top of the mountain. How do we know that? That is, we have already seen fire and smoke together. When there is fire in our kitchen, when our mother cooks, there is fire, she cooks using fire, and from that smoke comes. So because we have seen smoke and fire together, based on our previous knowledge, when we see something related to that, we are guessing something. That is known as inference. We are inferring something. That is Anumana. It is based on previous mana. Mana means Pramanam. Previously, we have seen something in Pratyaksham. Based on that, we are determining that it must be there. That is, fire must be present. So that is Anumana. Then third is Shabda. Shabda Pramanam. Shabda means what is coming from authorized words, authorized works. That is scriptures. That is, there is Vedam, Vedantam. Vedam is divided into two parts. First part talks about worshipping Bhagavan, how to perform worship. For example, how to do Sandhya Vandana, how to perform puja to Bhagavan. All of that is in the first part of Vedam. And then who is that Bhagavan? We all know what is Bhagavan, Sriman Narayana, Vishnu, we all know. But do we know details about Bhagavan? How do we find out details about Bhagavan? That is in the Vedanta, that is Upanishads. Upanishads take us closer to Bhagavan. They explain more about Bhagavan. That is, Bhagavan is all potent, omnipotent, omniscient. He knows everything. He can do anything. These qualities of Bhagavan, these attributes of Bhagavan, they are all known from Vedanta. So that is Shabda. Now, not only Vedam and Vedanta are Shabda, also Alvar saints, you all know. Saroyogi, Bhuta Yogi, Mahatahva Yogi, Bhaktisara Yogi, and then Shatakopa Swami, Madhurkavi Swami. So we have all of these Alvars, Kulashekara Swami, Kulashekara Yogi, and then Vishnu Chitta Yogi, Godamba, and then there is Bhaktangri Renu Swami, Yogi Vahana Swami, Parakala Swami. So all of these are Alvars. They are also considered as very great devotees of Bhagavan Vishnu. They have given Divya Prabandha. Prabandha part we all know. We all recite Tirupallandu, Pallandu, Pallandu, Pallayirattandu. We recite Tirupavai, Godambaji's Tirupavai, Margali Tingal. So we all know these are all also Prabandhams, Divya Prabandhams of Alvars. They are also known as Shabda Praman for us. They are also scriptures, authorized scriptures. Shri Pancharatra Agama, that is also present for us as Pramana. Alvar Acharyas, Shri Suktis, they have all given many Stotra Granthas. Stotra Ratna, Alavanda Stotra Ratna, you are all learning just before this class. That is also Pramana for us. So all of these collectively are known as Shabda Pramana. Main Shabda Pramana is Veda. Vedam, Vedanta. That is the main foundational Shabda Pramana. That is always the final authority. Veda, Vedanta, they are the final authority. Other Pramanams, they are all supporting authority. So these are Pramanas, which we have seen now, three types of Pramanams. That is Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda Pramana. So these are three types of Pramanams which we have seen. Again, we are only seeing the introduction. There is a lot of more information which need to be studied, which we will study over time. Whenever there is an opportunity, we will definitely study. I am sure in the next sessions also, many Swamis will give you many very useful information. So we will see at that time also. Now, Pramanam we have seen. Then we will see Pramata. Pramata is preceptor, teachers. So now we go back to the school example. We have seen how books are similar to our scriptures. Because whatever is in books, we accept. In the school, when we go to the school, when there is something written in the book, we don't question. How is it written like this? We don't question. We accept whatever is present in the school book. Because the school board, they have analyzed, they have studied, and they have prepared these books for the well-being of the children, for the knowledge of the children. Similarly, we accept our pramanams. We don't question them. Now, we don't question them means we can question them to learn, to improve our knowledge, we can question them. But we cannot just question them and ignore it. We can question them to learn curiously. Curiosity is very welcome. We have to learn by questioning and studying and analyzing. But just to unnecessarily question and ignore our answers, that is not good. So, because the same thing does not happen in the school also. When we go to the school, we can ask doubts and we can get it clarified. But if you just say that book itself is not useful, then the school will say, then you don't study in this school, you go to some other school. Similarly, when we study our sampradaya, we have to study with our pramanams, our scriptures, our available books. And we can learn by curiously studying very deeply. That is the way to do it. So that is pramanam. Now pramata, we can see in that school how teachers take the books and guide step by step the students, the children. Similarly, pramata is our acharyas. Right from Bhagavan, Sriman Narayana is the first acharya. Lakshmi Devi, Lakshmi Ji, that is, she is the second acharya. And then Vishwaksena Swami. Vishwaksena Swami is the third acharya in our Guru Parampara. And then there is Shatakop Swami. From Vishwaksena directly, Shatakop Swami Nammalvar. He is the next acharya. From Shatakopa Swami, there is Sriman Natha Muni. And then there is Pundarikaksha Swami. Then Rama Mishra Swami, Yamunacharya Swami, Mahapurna Swami, Ramanuja Swami, Bhagavad Ramanujacharya. His contribution to our sampradaya is much greater. That is why our sampradaya is known as Ramanuja Sampradaya. Bhagavad Ramanuja Darshanam. That is what our sampradaya is known as. This is given by Sri Ranganatha Bhagavan himself. He himself says that this sampradaya, instead of being called as Shri Sampradaya, Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Bhagavan likes this Sampradaya to be called as Ramanuja Sampradaya. Because Ramanuja has given so much to our Sampradaya. He has traveled all over Bharata Desham. He has promoted, he has explained our Sampradaya Siddhanta, our principles very, very clearly to everyone. We can see if we go from south, deep south, Dakshin Bharat to Uttara Bharat, even Nepal, even if we go there, everyone knows about our Vaishnava Sampradaya. That is because of Bhagavad Ramanuja's contribution. That is why our Sampradaya is known as Ramanuja Sampradaya. And then there is Govindacharya Swamiji, Parashara Bhattar Swamiji, Vedanti Nanjiya Swamiji, Kailivairidas Swamiji, Nambille Swamiji. And then Krishnapada Swami, Vadakathirivindi Pillai Swami, then Pillai Lokacharya Swami, and then Sri Shailesha Swami, and then Varavaravani Swami. And then these are the main acharyas, Sampradaya Pravartaka acharyas. These are known as Sampradaya Pravartaka acharyas. They were the leaders of our Sampradaya, right from Bhagavan Sriman Narayana up to Varavaramani Swamiji. This sampradaya was coming in one acharya at a time, being the leader of the whole sampradaya. After that, there were many branches, many acharyas were established by Varavaramani Swamiji, and the sampradaya spread even widely. And now we see up to our Swamiji, our Vanmamali Thothathry Swamiji, our Madhusudanacharya Swamiji, everyone is doing Pancha Samskaram. They are guiding all the acharyas, all the sishyas, all the disciples. This is our Pramata, our Sampradaya Acharyas. So all of these Alvars and Acharyas, they have taken the Shastram, they have taken the scriptures, they have taken the books, and all of these principles, they are explained to us by very, very simple words. Just like how we are seeing now, how we are explaining all of these principles in a simple way so that you can understand. This is what our Alvars and Acharyas have done. Very deep philosophy, very deep principles. They are taken by our Alvars, our Acharyas, and given in very simple language so that we can understand these things very clearly. So that is Pramata. And then finally Prameyam. What is the goal? What is the goal for us? In the school example, we saw the goal is to serve the humanity, to serve the society, to do research, find out better ways to do things. For example, what are scientists doing? Scientists are working to improve our material comforts, how we can live in this earth comfortably. That is what they are researching. Before we were having some facilities. Now we are having more facilities. That is the outcome of somebody's research, somebody's study, somebody's analysis. So they have used the knowledge they have accumulated with the help of the teachers. Based on the knowledge accumulated with the help of the teachers, they research and they find something useful for the society. They serve the society. they serve the goal of the founder of the school. That is the ultimate thing. The school founder, he has a particular vision. He wants to guide the students in a particular way to serve the society. Similarly, if we come back to our example, the Prameyam is to serve the interest of Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is the founder of our whole world. This whole world is founded by Bhagavan. He is the one who created it. So his interest is of main interest for us. We should serve what is the interest of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is eternally present and he is looking for our service, because as we are all his children, we are all his servants, we should be serving Bhagavan. That is the ultimate goal. Now, to understand what is service to Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan, we have to understand his 5 different states of existence. He exists in 5 different forms. So we have to understand these 5 different forms. That is what we are going to see now. Bhagavan is in Paramapadam. We all know Vaikuntha Lokam. That Vaikuntha Lokam is the eternal abode of Bhagavan. That is the permanent abode. Now we can relate this to the school example. The founder of the school, he will have his own house. He will not be living in the school, but he will be living in the house which he owns, which will be grand, which will be very big. Similarly, Bhagavan, even though he has created this world, he has his own world, his own place. That is Vaikuntha. That is Parampad. That is his first primary abode. Now, the founder of the school, even though he doesn't live in the school itself, still he knows everything which happens in the school, because he has his own managers, his own workers, his own staff who informs everything to Bhagavan. And he also knows, Bhagavan also monitors everything, every step he monitors. The school founder also monitors every step in the school. So he will know everything. Similarly, Bhagavan also is present everywhere in this world as Antaryami. That is one of the forms which we are going to see. We will see in the 5 forms of Bhagavan. By that presence, he knows everything. Moreover, he also appoints many devatas. Many Devi devatas are there. Rudra, Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Durga. There are many devatas. They are all appointed by Bhagavan. They are all different devatas who are appointed by Bhagavan, who take care of certain responsibilities. They will report to Bhagavan, just like the managers in the school. They will report to the founder, the chief of the school. All these devatas, they are humbly surrendered to Bhagavan. They are reporting to Bhagavan. They are working under the orders of Bhagavan. So Parampad, Vaikuntha is the abode of Bhagavan. That is where we also have to go and serve him. That is the goal of Bhagavan. That is the interest of Bhagavan. Just like the founder of the school will have a particular interest, the interest of Bhagavan is for us to come from this samsara, leave this samsara, go to Parampad, Vaikuntha and serve him eternally. That is his interest, and that is what our goal is also. Now, we will see about Bhagavan's different forms. He is also present in the form of Vyuham. Vyuham is Shirabdi. Shirabdi is milk ocean, where Bhagavan is reclining on a Adishesha serpent. He is reclining there, and this is where he stays, and he overlooks all the activities of the world. Whenever there is a problem in the world, he incarnates. That is the next state, Vibhavam. Vibhavam means incarnations. Bhagavan do Ramavataram, Krishnavataram, Varahavattaram, Narsimhavataram. We have heard about all this charitram. That is the 3rd stage of Bhagavan. From Vyuha, from Shirabdi, he descends into this our world, our earth, and he helps. By taking Ramavataram, he destroyed all the demons, Rakshasas. By taking Krishnavataram, he helped Arjuna, he helped many of his devotees, and he killed Duryodhana and all the bad people was killed by Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, we all know the popular shlokam, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I incarnate again and again to establish dharma. See, we saw about Sanatana Dharma. Bhagavan himself establishes dharma. So he says, I come again and again to establish dharma. And then he says, I protect good people and I destroy bad people. So that is what is done by incarnations. And then there is Antaryami. Bhagavan is present as super soul in every Atma. Every place we see in this world, Bhagavan is all pervading. He is present everywhere. Only if somebody is present everywhere, he will know everything. For example, if I am inside this room, I know what is happening in this room. I don't know what is happening in wherever you are sitting. In your room, I don't know what is happening because I am not there. Bhagavan knows everything by being present everywhere. That is his superpower. Everyone has power, but Bhagavan has superpower. He can exist everywhere at the same time. That is his superpower. So that Antaryami. Antaryami means being inside everything. Whatever we see, everything we see. That is why we should not harm anyone, anything in the environment also, people also. Because Bhagavan is present in everything. We should only understand that everything is being protected by Bhagavan, everything is cared by Bhagavan. So we should respect everyone, we should respect every human being, every animal, everything. We should not cause harm to anyone because Bhagavan is present in everything. How can we harm Bhagavan? He is our Father, He is our God, He is our everything. Such Bhagavan cannot be affected by our actions. So this Antaryami is very, very important. But this Antaryami is only visible to the eyes of yogis. I cannot see Bhagavan easily. Everyone cannot see Bhagavan easily in the Antaryami form. In the Parampadam also, we cannot see him right now. How he is present in Vaikuntha, we cannot see from here because it is far away from here. Shri of the milk ocean, it is also far away from here. Ramakrishna avatarams, incarnations, they are in the past. Now there is no incarnation of Rama, there is no incarnation of Krishna now. So we cannot see Bhagavan at the moment. So which form of Bhagavan can be seen now? That is Archavataram. That is the final incarnation, final form of Bhagavan. What is Archavataram? Bhagavan taking forms which are desired by his devotees. All Bhagavatas, all Bhaktas like to see the form of Bhagavan. How can we see? So Bhagavan decides, okay, I will appear in the form of a statue. I will appear in the form of a metal statue. I will appear in the form of wooden statue. I will appear in the form of a picture. So these are all Archa forms. In many temples, every town, every village, we have temples. In those temples, Bhagavan is present in the center, in the temple, in the sanctorium. That is his form. Bhagavan has assumed this form so that everyone can see at all times. See, if we want to see Vaikuntha, we cannot see now. But if we want to see our Bhagavan in the temple, we can immediately close the computer, put up Urdhva Pundra, go to the temple, worship there. That is possible immediately. So Bhagavan, out of his very great mercy, he is present as Archavatara in temples, in mutts, in our own homes. We can see in our temple, in our home also, there will be a small temple, small altar, where we will have Shalagram Shila of Bhagavan. We will have Vigraha, small Vigraha of Bhagavan, small photos of Bhagavan. So all of these are representations of Bhagavan. If we like to desire, if we desire to see Bhagavan in a particular form, Bhagavan takes that form. So that is the simplicity of Bhagavan. Though Bhagavan is supreme, he is greater than everyone, he also presents himself in the Archavatara form. So these are the 5 different forms of Bhagavan, 5 different states of Bhagavan. So Vyuha is Kshiravdi, milk ocean. We know in Kshiravdi, Bhagavan is resting on the Adishesha. From there only he takes incarnations. See, Brahma, Rudra, Indra, Varuna, whenever they are having problems, whenever they are suffering by Rakshasas, Asuras, they will immediately run to the entrance of Kshiravdi. There they will start singing praises of Bhagavan. they will sing the greatness of Bhagavan. And he is observing from there. He is observing from there. He is observing from the Kshiravdi. He is resting, but at the time his mind is awake. It is like, for example, we can give a practical example. Your mother may be closing her eyes and resting on the chair. But whenever you do something wrong, she shouts immediately, Anirudh, what are you doing? She knows you are doing something mischievous. Similarly, Bhagavan seems to be resting, but he is also aware of what is going on, everything in this world. At that time, all the devatas, Devi devatas like Rudra, Brahma, Indra, Varuna, they will all run to Bhagavan. They will say, oh Bhagavan, you have to protect us. You have to take an incarnation and you have to protect us. Then Bhagavan says, okay, I will come as Rama. I will kill Ravana and all the Rakshasas, Kara, Dushana, Kumbhakarna, all the Rakshasas were killed by Bhagavan. That is his incarnations. But the incarnations are happening from Kshiravdi. So Bhagavan comes from Vaikuntha to Kshiravdi. From Kshiravdi, he takes incarnations. And after the incarnations are done, Vibhavatarams are done, in the Kali Yuga, he is coming in the form of Archa. It is not that in previous Yugas, Archa is not there. Even in Dwapara Yuga, there is Archa. There are temples even in Dwapara Yuga. Even in Treta Yuga, even in Rama's time, there was temples. Now, whatever Sri Ranganatha Bhagavan we are seeing in Sri Rangam, that Bhagavan, that form of Bhagavan was worshipped by Rama himself. So, even in Treta Yuga, even during Rama's time, temples were there. But now there are more temples. There are more Archavataram for the benefit of all of us. But that is Bhagavan's mercy. He is coming in the form of Archavataram. So these are all the 5 different forms. So we have seen today Pramanam. First we saw what is Prama, knowledge. And then Pramanam, the source of knowledge. Pramata, the teachers of knowledge. And then Prameyam, the goal, ultimate goal, which is to serve Bhagavan eternally in Vaikuntha. But until we go to Vaikuntha, what are we going to do? We have to serve Bhagavan, Alvas, Acharyas here in this world. When we are here, we should not be wasting our time. We should be studying our Sampradaya. We should be understanding what our Alvas, Acharyas have given us. Based on that, based on the life of our Acharyas, we should arrange our life like that. We should ensure that we spend our maximum time in studying our Sampradaya, and not only studying, because anyone can study, but if you don't put it into practice, then it will not be useful. So we should have full faith and devotion towards our Acharya, towards Alvas, Bhagavan, and engage in as much seva as possible. So with this, we will stop today. I think Adiyan have covered the basic principles which probably are understood by most of you. If you have any doubts, you can ask now. Adiyan will try to, Das will try to clarify as much as possible. Jai Shri Manarayan.
स्वामी जी, बहुत ही अद्भुत ढंग से आपने प्रमाण, प्रमाता और प्रमेय के बारे में बताया। इतने ही सरल शब्दों में और इतने सुस्पष्ट शब्दों में आपने बताया कि दास को ऐसी आशा है कि सभी बालक गोष्ठी को अवश्य समझ में आया होगा। और इसके उपरांत आपने भगवान के जो 5 परिस्थितियां हैं उनका जो वर्णन किया, ये बहुत ही स्पष्ट रूप से किया। बहुत आनंद का विषय है। दास का भी बहुत सौभाग्य है जो श्रवण करने का सौभाग्य मिला। ये सब विषय थोड़ा थोड़ा करके बालक गोष्ठी को बताना परम आवश्यक है। इससे इनको इन सब विषयों को श्रवण करने का, थोड़ा थोड़ा जानने का सौभाग्य होगा। फिर जैसे जैसे ये बड़े होंगे, इन सब विषयों में इनकी रुचि बढ़ेगी। बहुत ही आनंद का विषय है, बहुत ही अद्भुत। श्रीनिवास चिलबिला से कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं। अच्छा,